Hi, everyone. This is John Daly for Right Life Publishing. Today I'm talking to Judy Lipson, author of the wonderful memoir, Celebration of Sisters. It's Never Too Late to Grieve. How's it going today, Judy?
Good, thank you. How are you, John?
I'm good, thank you. So, your book, Celebration of Sisters, it's received a lot of praise. It's a true, very moving story. Can you tell people what it's about and the events in your life that inspired it?
So it's a story about love, loss, and moving forward even years after the loss. I lost both my sisters many years ago, and for years I suppressed the grief for 30 years. And when we established their fund in 1999 at Mass General, the doctor said to me, "You should write about these girls." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." And siblings are often the forgotten mourners and taken a back seat. So I'm a very private, shy, introverted person. So for me, writing became a tool to kind of get my feelings out and share my feelings. And it was to help others so they wouldn't be alone in their grief. So in 2011, when my father died, I attended a support group, and the woman knew my story, and she said, "You really have to write your story." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." So I wrote an article for the Centering Corporation, and in 2015, I started to write for the Open to Hope Foundation. In 2018, I left my work to work on the memoir and work on my fundraiser, Celebration of Sisters, and the rest is history. And I was very fortunate to connect with Bright Light Publishing, and the memoir became published. And for somebody who is kept all this squash for so many years to be talk about it and share my story, the losses, and talk about it, it has been a very empowering, enlightening experience. And I've met wonderful people, and I'm very grateful for the journey.
Now, you alluded to this, but Celebration of Sisters, it's more than just a book. It's also an ice skating fundraiser that you started in honor of your sisters. Can you tell people what that's about? I know ice skating is a very big part of your life, and also talk about the related project, Sisters Hearts Forever.
So in 2011, I started the grieving process for my sisters after 30 years of suppressing the grief. And ice skating is something that we all did as girls. And I didn't realize that it was always the court that was kind of bringing me together for them. And our family was very philanthropic, and I wanted to do something to honor my sisters because they were fun. And I didn't want to have a boring chicken dinner. So I decided to do a skating fundraiser entitled Celebration of Sisters. So I'd never done a skating solo before. I'd never skated before a crowd before. And the event grew, and we raised over $80,000 in a decade for Massachusetts General Hospital in their eating disorder and internal medicine departments. So we had the grand finale in 2021. We had a pause a year due to COVID. We did another one in 2012. So skating was something that was just always connected me. And I have very fond memories of skating as a girl with my sisters. So Sisters Hearts Forever came about because people who are reading my book are surviving sisters and people who have lost their sisters. And the bond of sisters is something unique. Anybody who has a sister can really understand that. And so Hearts was always big with one of my sister Margie. So I decided to kind of expand on that. It just has launched this week. So I came up with the name Sisters Hearts Forever. And it means that our sisters are always with us, always in our hearts, whether they're here or they're gone. And the sisterly bond is something that really, if you've ever had a sister, you know how special it is. And believe it or not, there's a lot more books out for some reason or another on people who have lost brothers, but not who have lost sisters. I don't know the reasoning why that is. So, but even people who have sisters read the book and they're like, oh my God, I need to go and hug my sister a little bit more.
Well, that's a great message for sure. I saw that you recently took a board position at the Cope Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization. Can you tell people what it's all about and what it does?
Okay. The Cope Foundation was founded by Lillian Julian, who lost her daughter 32 years ago. It's a nonprofit grief and healing organization that's celebrating its 25th year. And it provides grief and support for parents and families who have lost a child. And they do professional support groups, and they offer grief and healing workshops. And they also have, they do outreach, and they have what's called Camp Aaron in Pennsylvania, which is in 2 weeks, that kids who are grieving anywhere from 7 to 18 can go, and then they have a parallel program for their parents and caregivers. It's in Pennsylvania. And they also have a lot of programs for grief in the workplace, and they do wonderful work, and their mission is that nobody should grieve alone. And it's a wonderful, wonderful organization, and I'm very honored to be a part of it.
It sounds like a great resource, something that can help people out a lot. You also just got back, I saw on social media, from the BPUSA National Conference. That stands for, I believe, Bereaved Parents of the USA. You presented multiple workshops there. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah. So they're a smaller organization. They have chapters across the United States. Last year, I was fortunate enough to be the keynote speaker. And this year, I decided to kind of run a few workshops out of the box, not your typical workshops. So I gave a workshop on siblings are special, and gave a presentation, and then asked that we all share a special funny story about our siblings, because I think too often in grief we get caught up in the sadness, and I think there's special memories and funny memories that we have of our siblings. So that was one workshop. Another workshop I did, and I told about my keynote address last year, and I got choked up because it really was, after all these years, to get out and share my story, and the validation I received about my loss was very empowering, and I kind of choked up when I talked about that. And then I gave a workshop on writing, that it's important that these stories get out there in whatever way, shape, or form that works for you, anywhere from a journal to a memoir, whatever works for you, a collaboration. There are many opportunities to do that. And the third one I did with a friend of mine who's used music. She lost her sister and her grandson, and it was a way for her to unite with her granddaughter, and they played. So we did Music Unites Us, and that was kind of different, because music does as a way to communicate and kind of lifts us all up.
Well, you're doing a lot of good out there, Judy, and sharing your story. I know it's helping a lot of people. I heard a rumor, Judy, that you're working on a brand new book, something more in the line of fiction, though it sounds, based on our conversation and based on your other book, like the inspiration behind it is quite real and near and dear to your heart. Can you tell us about this project?
Yes, so I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to write another memoir. So I was going to write a memoir about a sister with a mental illness, because my sister Margie died of anorexia and bulimia that she was sick with for 20 years. So I was walking with a friend of mine who happens to be a writer, and she said, "Why don't you try fiction?" So I took a couple of courses and worked with a couple of coaches and decided to write a story about a family, and it's really focusing not on the illness per se, but on the sibling relationships, and how this illness having sister with a mental illness and the impact it has on the siblings. And of course, there's skating involved, and there's a brother, not three girls, obviously. And I mean, it's an important story that I feel needs to be told, but taking it into fiction takes a lot of the emotion, heartache out of it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. And of course, there's skating in it, and it's a lot of fun to write.
That's interesting. You kind of present it as therapy to an extent, and I think there's something definitely to that. Yeah, as a fellow novelist, a fiction writer, there's a lot of me. People don't always recognize it, but it comes out in the pages. A lot of inner feelings, that sort of thing. And no, I'm excited for you. That sounds like it's a great project you're working on, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. You're also, as we mentioned, you're still ice skating and seemingly having a great time with it, from the photos and videos I see. And I hear you're working on something special for your 70th birthday. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so I put Celebration of Sisters on pause, and I'm very fortunate in my new skating club that they've asked us to perform. So in 2026, I'll be 70, and I hope to bring back Celebration of Sisters for another event, and also celebrate my sisters and celebrate my 70th birthday. And kind of my birthday has always been kind of challenging because it's the last time I saw my sister was to celebrate my 25th birthday. So I thought this will be a nice way to kind of celebrate my birthday, celebrate my sisters in a sport that we love, and give back to the community.
Well, that's great, and I want to thank you for joining me, Judy. Can you tell people how to find out more about you and your books?
Yeah, my website is www.judylipson.org, and the books it can be found in any independent bookstore, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's available in paperback, ebook, or audio.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll add a few little notes there at the end of the video too, so people can have an easier time finding it. Well, I always enjoy speaking with you, Judy. It's great to hear that you're involved in so many things, and I'm excited to see where your next book heads. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, John.